There.
That's me.
We're actually ready for CosFreePlay Live. Welcome to CosFreePlay Live once again. We are having technical difficulties, but I cannot think of a more patient person to have technical difficulties with than one Kamber. She has been patiently doing a CosFreePlay post every Thursday in the community group for over a year now, and I don't even know how much longer than a year, like quite a ways. Um, she highlights a different theme of cosplay, and she puts together a montage of different pictures, kind of a photo collage of different cosplays around that theme. Now, this week's theme is a mystery, but she was getting into that before we got cut off before. She also does a live cosplay for us. So before we get too much further, let's ask you what the theme is, and I will find the cosplay picture that you sent me, which is what you are cosplaying as today.
Okay. So originally I was gonna do something completely different today. I'd already planned it out. And then I got like super duper nostalgic and kind of sad yesterday that I realized I was supposed to have worn this costume already once this year to the opening weekend of Scarborough Fair, and then they canceled it.
Hmm.
And then I was also supposed to be wearing this costume for Free Comic Book Day. That's in a couple of weeks, and that probably will also not be happening.
Hmm.
And so I was just like having a moment of, man, I really miss wearing this costume, and now I probably won't get to wear it to any events all year. I'm gonna wear that tomorrow. So it was definitely a last minute decision where I was like, man, I just really want to put on this costume again because it's one of my favorites I have, possibly my favorite.
Well, we
Um,
we benefit.
yeah. So I'm cosplaying. Also, it's just good for me to keep like switching every other week, going back to one of my D&D related cosplays because I have like half of my costumes are that, and I gotta spread them out so I don't just this doesn't just become a D&D show, even though it's my life.
Do you play
So
D&D?
I do. I play every other week with a group of my cosplay friends, and then I'm about to start another RPG game. It's not D&D. It's called World of Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty famous for Vampire the Masquerade is like one of the subdivisions of it. But we're playing as fantasy creatures back in 1920s New York. So I will be playing as a flapper, a vampire
I
flapper.
was I was just going to ask if he would be the flapper.
Yes, I was like, I will join this game, but only if I'm allowed to serenade the other players, who I don't know any of them. I only know the DM, or whatever she's called in that one, I guess the game master. But I was like, as long as I get to sing to the other players who don't know me with my terrible voice, then I will play. I will join. I want
I
to
mean,
sing. I'll
if you
sing
want
music
to
from the twins.
sing, the floor is yours.
Like I've been, especially because we were playing in the 1920s, and the era of music from like the 20s to 40s is like one of my favorite eras. Especially with like games like Bioshock introducing me to a lot of bands that were from back then. I was like, I already had a whole playlist of songs that I know all the words to, and I was like, I will be singing all of these.
All right,
So
so
it'll be
I
great.
think this is your character on screen here.
Yes.
All right, what do we have here?
His name is Vax, or Vaxeldon, from Critical Role, the first campaign,
Hmm.
which I brought in my comic that they're in, which is why we were going to wear these costumes to Free Comic Book Day because they are giving away a Vox Machina comic. But there he is. There's my boy. He's a twin with this chick who my friend cosplays as. So we call ourselves the twins now and be twins everywhere. But he is a half elf rogue because I literally only cosplay as rogues apparently because they are my favorite. I am a rogue in real life.
Because you steal stuff.
Yes. I am a rogue bard.
Oh
So,
yes.
I gotta love all the rogues and all the bards. And yes, I think it could be the same illustrator as Rat Queens because I know that they've done a few stuff before with Critical Role. Like, I think there's actually characters from Critical Role in one of the Rat Queens issues. I haven't read it, but I know a little bit about it. I know it's also D&D and whatnot, so I could possibly tell you who this artist is. Does it say who's the cover art is by why is there a J in this name? I don't know how to pronounce this name. St- Stejepan site. Oh gosh, I just feel bad. I'm just gonna point. Oh, except it's gonna be backwards on the screen, isn't it?
No, if it's yeah,
Stejepan right. Okay.
forwards.
Oh, okay, good. It is right. Yeah, whatever that name is who's the cover art on this because honestly, I don't know how to. Yeah, that name, Ian. That name. I've never pronounced a name like that in my life. There's a J in the middle of Steven. I don't understand. So yeah, yeah. super cool. Yeah,
Let's pull
so
that up here.
this is like one of my favorite costumes because it's one of the ones I've made everything from scratch, and it's a character that I really like because it's a like he has a sister and they're like best friends, and it just reminds me of my own relationship with my brother. So I'm actually currently also making a cosplay of the twin, so I can be both halves of the twins.
I didn't know you and Cross were twins.
We're not,
Oh.
but I feel like we're close enough, like we are.
Mm-hmm.
We're very close siblings. At least in my opinion. He's not here to tell you that he hates me, so I'm just gonna keep gushing on him and say that we're BFFs until he shows up and says he doesn't like me.
Right, right.
Not
But you
like
would say the
him.
same thing about him. We just all know that you're definitely blood related sisters with Jess.
Yeah, that's what the world would like us all to think. So that's what everyone says. Oh, y'all just look so alike. Y'all must be sisters. I'm like, me and Cross look identical. What are you talking about? Jess has blonde hair. She looks nothing like us. We don't have noses like that. Have you seen her nose?
Oh, do
I
tell
know.
us more. It's time to talk smack about
Like,
Jess and her nose.
got like a huge bump in it in the middle. So yeah, no, I don't have that. I have a nice nose. Look at the profile. I am not related to that thing. Don't give me that.
Well,
Don't tell
this,
her I said that. She's not watching this.
yeah, she's not watching. That wasn't clipped and just instantly sent to Jess. Oh, wait, never mind, never mind. I spoke too soon.
What are you talking about? Hey, we are really kind in the Kirchmeyer family,
Mhm.
you know? And when I was listening to you talk to Gori Midori, and when you asked her what her favorite thing about her is, I was thinking in my mind, oh, what would I say is like my favorite thing about me? And I was
Well,
like, probably that I'm brutally honest.
I would say similarly to how I feel about Gory. You have very good boundaries, and yeah, that's you two are similar. That's not a coincidence. I do like to surround myself with people like that.
Yeah, she's a pretty okay human being as well.
Mm-hmm.
I like her.
Yes, yes. You guys have both been nice enough, kind enough to invite me over. You to the ridiculous Kirchmeyer. Um, I don't know. It's a house. It's a rather large house.
It is. Well, it holds a
It's in the
lot of people.
boonies. Yes. Here, let's pull up the bookshelf, shall we? This is
Yes.
our picture from the Kirchmeyer house of the day. It's massive. It's your bookshelf in your room, right?
It's technically Skyla's bedroom now, but it
Okay.
used to be my personal library before children came along. But it's still my library. She rents the room with a bed.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah,
yes,
so
those
it's
are
like a
all of my books.
yeah, bookshelf at a 45-degree angle maybe.
Yeah, they're all at angles and they're all just shoved in there haphazardly, just like my life.
Is
Very
it
catty.
is it hard to remove a book from the bottom of that?
No, there's like lots of shelves in between, so that it's not terrible to get to. And I have like each section is kind of sectioned by genre or author or series or what have you. It's pretty well organized. If you asked me where a book was, I would know at least the general direction of where it was located.
It's as well organized for a book in a bookcase that is at 45-degree angles.
Yeah. For the
Yeah.
chaos that it looks like, I know where everything is.
Yeah, you're definitely sporting the first bookcase I've ever seen at that angle. It's a wild one. I've seen a Tetris bookcase before, but that was still at 90-degree angles.
Yeah.
Did you make it? Did you purchase that?
Yeah, we custom build it. My uncle and his dad are carpenters. So when we were building it all, we were like, "Hey, we have a design. Can y'all bring it to fruition?" And they were like, "Oh yeah, sure."
Yeah, we build these 45-degree angle bookcases all the time.
Yeah, we just wanted something different. We like to be different in our family.
That's
So,
true. It does look very different. I'm glad it's functional.
oh yeah, it works good and it holds a lot. But it's like pretty much full. I have way too many books,
Have you read them all?
and absolutely not. I
Hmm.
have a aunt who worked. I think she still works there at like for the Mansfield School District, and so whenever their libraries were like getting rid of books that were either damaged or like just not being checked out anymore, they would send them to her warehouse where she worked, and then she would send them on to be like either given away or shredded if they were really bad. And so she would just send me all of the boxes. So there's probably half the books there are from the Mansfield School District that I kept, and a lot of them are like junior high and lower grade level. So, and by the time I was receiving all of these, I was like well into high school, so I didn't read a lot of them, but I kept them knowing that one day there would be children who would need to read them. So
Do any of them have those slips of paper that they used to put in my elementary school library where you check it out and they'd write
yeah,
down the
a
name?
lot of them have like they're all stamped with like Mansfield ISD, and then a lot of them do have the all the names in the front of who's checked them out.
Yeah, they wouldn't let us write on it, but they would tape a card to it and then replace the card.
Yeah, I'm doing a really bad job at this. I
Well,
need a
I am
need a
distracting you, of
different brush.
course.
Well, I'm trying to use a brush that's way too big for what I'm trying to do, and I was like, nah, it'll work. It wasn't working.
So you braided your hair. Does that mean it's a wig costume or?
Yes, I
Okay,
am going to be wearing a very, very, very long black wig. It's
gotcha.
even longer than my own hair, which is saying something because I have a lot of hair. It's a costume that I almost didn't buy a wig for because I was like, if I straighten my hair, it would be pretty close. But then a friend of mine had this wig that they weren't using. And so, like, oh, why don't you can use it for your costume. And if I ever want it back, I'll ask for it back. And then you never ask for it back.
Yeah. Plus, if you ever decide to cut your hair, you'll have this one.
Yeah. And like, I have bangs right now. So it would kind of be hard. And my hair is so curly, it struggles to get straight anyway. So
Hmm.
it was probably for the best. I probably did need a wig, and it's nice to have just like a generic long black wig because there's a lot of other costumes that works for.
Now, what do you think about my invisible shirt? Do I need to wear this on subsequent Wednesdays or should I
I
retire it
like
now?
it. It's just like the black and white ants crackling old TV. It has a very nostalgic feel to it, so I approve.
Yeah, you can see right through me today.
Hmm. And you kept saying that earlier, and it was reminding me of the song from the Chicago Broadway musical. If you've ever seen that show, it's a good one. It's about burlesque dancers, but the music in it is really good. But one of the guys sings a song called Mr. Cellophane because you can look right through him because he's like a character that nobody cares about.
He was wearing an invisible shirt.
Yeah, he has an invisible shirt on a stream.
Oh, so what was the subject of tomorrow's cause free play post? You
Oh
said
yeah, I was
mystery,
talking
like
about
like
all
reset the mystery, I guess.
yeah. So I decided wanted to do a it was something I was like, oh, I know what theme I want to do, and so I went and looked it up, and no one had cosplayed it before, and I was like, you know what? Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a cosplay challenge. So it's a very simple costume in general, and so the goal is for you to kind of I've seen it going around on the internet. Maybe it's only been going around in the cosplay community and maybe not anywhere else. I don't know, but where you see a picture and you have to recreate it with like just the stuff that's sitting around you. So my goal is I recreated the picture this morning with a couple of random things I had lying around my house, and I'm going to post that along with the original picture of the character, and then I'm going to ask our community group to try and also recreate the image with random junk they have lying around their house.
Gotcha. So there is a target image, a source image, and it's not. When you first started explaining it, I thought maybe you were cosplaying as Michael Beltran or something like that.
No, it's a free play community group related costume, which I guess is why you probably thought Michael Beltran when I said that.
Right, or Gory Midori or
No, it's
any.
a character from a video game.
Mhm.
So I don't know if anyone's actually going to do it. It might just be my ugly face on there with my costume that I poorly threw
Um,
together. But you know
I will try.
what's going to
Like,
happen.
I'll try. I don't know what I can do, but I'll try. I
I
I
promise it's easy, and I promise mine looks terrible. So that's like the hope that they'll be like, oh, hers looks bad. Maybe I can also look that bad and be okay.
Yeah, but your costume's gonna have a better nose than mine.
That's true. I do have a good, maybe that's the best thing about myself is the nose. I've definitely never thought about like noses. Like that's not something that I notice on people. I don't see people and go, "Ooh, they have a really nice nose." I only know it because Jess complains about her nose. So I would never have called her out on her nose if she didn't complain about how much she doesn't like hers.
Yeah, the only nose I know about is Toucan Sam's.
He does have quite the nose.
And he follows it to Fruit Loops.
I'm gonna put. Don't keep spitting fire at me, Ian.
More fire. Just a fire-breathing Kamber today.
Hey, that's what happens when I'm forced to only be around the same like 7 people in my family. We're all just insulting each other all the time, and it feels good to insult. You know, I need to get those insults out.
You do 3D printing a lot. Is that something you want to promote? Do you want to put out there? Is it all you have tons of work, so
I mean, I'm always down to. I don't know what I'm putting on my face right now, but it looks weird.
but you do a lot more than just like 3D printing. Like you 3D model, like you can take
Yeah.
it from
So I do a lot
concept
of
to
like
the end.
inventing, prototyping, and that kind of stuff. So I do a lot of like very mechanically engineered type non. But I do also print like swords, and I have some props today, some daggers that I made for this costume. So I do a lot of like fun things as well, I guess. So it doesn't all have to be crazy stuff. So if you ever need like, I don't know, weapons or trophies, I've done a few random trophies.
Mm-hmm.
I've just done like whatever. I mean, it's kind of within whatever you want to do because it's 3D printing and you can kind of make whatever. So sure, if any free play people out there need
Need
random
commission
3D
3D
things,
printing work.
yeah, find me on Facebook, message me.
Mhm.
I'll take you up on it.
You certainly have enough.
Yes, I only have like 6 3D printers, so you know, hair is
Only
everywhere.
6. That's just the beginning, I'm sure.
Yeah, we probably would have more if we had somewhere to put them, but we're
Hmm.
kind of out of room.
Right. Yeah, and you can't
So,
really. Ian wants a 3D printed nose.
lol, I could probably do it. I have a 3D printed hand on my desk.
Nice.
I think it's doing the F. It says F in sign language or 9. So that's what I always think when people do this. I'm like F, saying F.
Oh
Oh
yeah, we
yeah,
had.
someone asked earlier
Yeah,
about sign language. Now that I say that again,
yeah.
yes, I took 3 years of sign language in high school, and so I was pretty fluent back then. I definitely have forgotten a little bit of my words, but half of sign language is just like pantomiming. So even if like I've never learned a different foreign language, I've only ever known sign language. So it's kind of I don't know how other people learn foreign languages when sign language is kind of based on the language I already speak. But if you don't know a sign for a word, you can always just like spell it out. It takes longer and it's annoying, but like at least you'll never be at a loss for saying something.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, sign language is mostly like how excited you are when you're signing. That's how all of your there's no like not adjectives. There's probably an actual word in English for it, but there's no like very. Like I'm very happy. No, you just sign happy, really, really happy. Or there's no very sad. It's you sign sad, but you're really sad while you're doing it.
Gotcha.
So it's a very involved adverb. Yeah, that's a good one, Corey. Thanks. And you're welcome for telling your mom happy birthday.
Man,
So
I didn't know you were fluent in ASL, so.
it's really fun, and it's been like when I got to the time of choosing what foreign language I wanted to pick, I picked sign language because I feel like all other foreign languages like I'm probably not going to go to any other country in my life. I'm probably going to live in America my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And so people who come here and don't speak English, like they have a choice to learn to speak English. But someone who's deaf doesn't have the choice to become hearing and to just start speaking and listening.
Mm-hmm.
So learning something like sign language is a way to communicate with those people that might not have the chance. Like I met through some mission work, I met a homeless man named Cecil, and he was deaf, and he had not signed with anyone in like over a decade because just like being homeless and in that community, there was just no one else who knew how to sign. So when we met him and he began to sign, I was like, oh, hi, my name's Kamber and all this. And he like was so excited just to have someone to talk to that I literally ignored every other thing I was supposed to be doing that whole day. We were supposed to be like helping feed them and helping clean and do all this stuff. And he just like grabbed me by the arm and like he wanted just to talk the whole entire day. So it was just really cool to, interact with those kind of people that might not have the chance to really talk to other people. So kind of just give people a voice. So it's super fun.
Nice. Can we get you involved in the next Michael Beltran promo where he says whatever he says and then you translate it, except horribly mistranslated into I don't know what this weird guy is talking about, things like that?
Yeah, I can definitely do that.
Excellent.
I'm always down to mess with people, and sign language is a good way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I like to sign to people that I know don't know what I'm saying. I'll just like be mid talking to them and just stop and start signing, and they're like, "No, please stop! I don't know what you're saying. Oh gosh, what are you doing?"
I like to put on earphones and pretend I can't hear them because they're blaring music that actually nothing is connected to them.
Okay, I feel like it's time to do the next step. Putting up the hair. Because this costume has like 8 layers to put on just in clothing. So I feel like I should get the show on the road because it's already 8 o'clock since we started so late.
Yeah, it's not your fault. It's not really my fault either. We're not really sure whose fault it is. Like, it's probably Discord since it's like making us update, and apparently it had a video call feature that D Owls was very excited to tell us about, and then it took it away the instant he came to tell us about it. So,
yeah.
Part of the fun of streaming 24/7 is mandatory updates to programs and operating systems end up crushing your stream, and then you have to deal with the ramifications as you go.
So the next fun part of this costume is gluing things to me. So I'm going to be gluing elf ears to my ears.
Nice.
So I have bottle o glue. It's actually spirit gum is the like name for it. This is what most people, there's spirit gum and there's Prozaid. Those are like the 2 big brand names of special effects face glue, I guess is what you can call it.
Yeah. I've only ever used spirit gum.
Spirit gum, yeah. So, but I hear mixed reviews about both. I have a friend who's allergic to spirit gum, so they have to use Prozaid, and it always seems to work out fine for them. But it's very fun because you just like glue things to your face, and then at the end of the con day, you're supposed to, use like the remover to get it off. But I don't have time for that. I'm hot and I'm tired, and I want to take all this stuff off, and I just rip it off, and it hurts.
Ouch.
It's fun. It's fun when you have like multiple days of a con in a row because by day like 3, there's just like weird glue spots all over you that you can't quite get off. And it's all in your hair. It's always in your hair.
I just want to be able to take you to a con again so that we can like custom ask for a cosplay. Because hanging out with Ono was fun, but you could do anything.
True. The world is our oyster. I keep having people suggest me things. I might be making Link from Legend of Zelda now for next year because my friend really wants to be Zelda. And I know that my friend already has a Castlevania cosplay. And since you mentioned that I should be Alucard, I've been thinking about it more. And now I kind of want to do it.
Yeah, you could definitely do a good Alucard. I'm confident.
Yeah. So I was looking at pictures and was like, I guess I should watch the show and like continue it so I can be caught up and feel like I should do it. But I'm always down to be a hot man with a long coat. It's like half of my cosplays.
I would love to cosplay as that, but I don't know. I can do the long coat. The other part is a bit difficult.
Yeah, I agree. It's really hard to be a hot man. I probably
Right.
don't do a very good job with it, but I really just don't care.
I've tried for a while, and this is as close as I can get, basically. I'm doing lots of push-ups, but it's just not taken. I'm stuck right here with this nose.
Cosplay is for everyone. It doesn't matter what you actually look like. That's something that it's part of the reason why I actually started cosplaying as guys, because I had friends who were like, well, I'm too fat to be the character that I want, or I'm too short to be the character that I want. It's like, bro, I'm a woman. I'm about to cosplay as a dude. Like I literally can't get further from like I very much identify as a woman. I'm very happy being a woman, but I don't feel bad, you know, throwing on a male cosplay and having fun. So
Yeah, same. I've been Bella from Twilight. I think I put that up last time,
mhm.
and I've done a few like gender bending cosplays. I
Yeah,
like to go as far away from generic tall white dude as I can
yeah,
because I'm stuck this way all the time. So I was short
that
round to Sarah's Indiana Jones, which is the short Asian kid who goes with Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom.
oh yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. I made sure I got the actual hat that he wears, the Yankees cap from the 20s. Um,
Mhm.
I did as well as I could, and then I got hit with like just pin your eyes back, and I'm like, no, that's not what I'm doing. No, no, no. I'll dress up as in the same costume. That's it. I'm cosplaying.
Yeah. So I was gonna show these little fake buckles are 3D printed that I made and painted silver. So it's meant to look like a buckled up cloak, and then halfway down it becomes unbuttoned. But it's just 3D printed plastic, spray painted and glued to fabric.
That looks great.
So I forgot this one has to go over my head. I should have done put this on before I had to put on ears.
So your whole team does Critical Role stuff, right?
Yes, that's how I actually met all of my cosplay friends was through Critical Role.
Okay.
Oh gosh, I definitely should have done this one before I had ears on. I forgot how tight fitting this one was. Oh gosh. Well, they're still on there. I probably have
Hey,
makeup on now.
you just tested your spirit glue or spirit gum or
Yeah,
whatever it was.
I might need to put a little bit more. Actually, it'll probably be fine. It's not a full conde,
Hmm.
so it doesn't have to be perfect. Definitely, if you're like me when I wear costumes or I'm like climbing things, I jumped off of I don't know. It was probably like 8 foot. I jumped off of a banister in this costume for a video because I wanted to act like I was stabbing the person videoing me.
Hmm.
So I love to climb up very tall things and leap off of them. I always have. So I like to cosplay characters where that's in character to do.
Alucard, he's in a platformer. Just saying.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hmm.
So this is layer 2. Now I'm putting on layer 3, which is leather. And it's all very wrinkly because it's been in a box.
Is it actually leather?
It's fake leather. Pleather, I guess, is what it actually probably is.
Fair enough.
But this is before I had a leather sewing machine, so I couldn't have really sewn with real leather. But now I have a leather sewing machine and I can sew anything within theory.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Have my belt, which I 3D printed all these little belt buckles because they didn't really need to be super functional. So they're just little belt buckle shaped things, also painted silver. Now I got this costume is so hot. Let me just tell you, I've worn this thing to the Texas Renaissance Festival down in Magnolia, and it was probably like 90 something degrees, and I was in all of this costume and I was dying.
Yeah, whenever I go to, you said you were wearing this to Scarborough, or you were planning on it, right?
Yes, we
Yeah,
were planning on it.
whenever I go to Scarborough, I try to go as early in the season as possible because
Mm-hmm.
it's spring, and then by the end of it, you're always seeing people like yourself in very elaborate costumes that are just
Yeah.
miserably hot.
Yeah, I've yet to wear this costume in like appropriate weather. I've
Hmm.
only worn it to like really hot summer cons, and it's been the worst. But I don't really cosplay a lot of characters that aren't like super clothed. Like I guess like Ono is probably one of my least clothed ones, and it's just a dress. Like most of the time, I'm doing like lots of layers or like a cloak or something like really intense, so it's always hot.
Yeah, I did. I had the opposite experience at Scarborough when I went as I just had a Robin Hood costume, a
Mm-hmm.
pretty generic one. But it started pouring down rain because it was early in the season. It's spring,
Mm-hmm.
um, and that's usually like the other option that you have at Scarborough. It's either pouring rain or it's super hot. So I got the pouring rain, and
I've
just
also been there when it's pouring rain.
yeah, just completely soaked my costume all the way through, and I was shivering, and it was at the point where it was just like I don't know if I'm supposed to like I don't know if I can keep wearing this because I'm freezing now, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's there's nothing. The clothes are actually doing nothing for me at this point. I'm soaking wet. I'm completely cold, and so I took the shirt off and just the tunic, the Robin Hood tunic off, and it was like it was no colder, like being like topless in the rain. And the only thing I will say is the shopkeepers. I definitely started getting much more attention from the shopkeepers while
Yes.
holding my top in the pouring rain. They approved, by the way.
Yeah, the weekend that I met all of my cosplay friends at Scarborough was opening weekend and it was pouring rain. And we spent half of the time huddled under shelter because most of them were in body paint that they couldn't be outside in the rain and without it washing off. So we all got to know each other really well, scrunched together really tightly. So it was good times. So I will explain all of the cosplay secrets, I guess, as I go. So in order to well put this on, put gloves on, and then have to put these bracers on over the top of my sleeve, I sewed snaps to the inside of my glove and to the outside of my shirt, so I can snap my shirt to my gloves, and then when I slide the bracer on, it like the shirt stays up.
Hmm.
So that's a tidbit. These gloves are the only thing I did not make for this costume because I hate gloves. Gloves are of the devil. Gloves are impossible to sew. So I paid for these gloves and just cut the fingers off because I refuse to make gloves.
Fair enough.
They're a bud. I made my gloves for Witch Mercy, and I might never make another gloves again.
Hmm. Have you are you a big movie watcher?
Yeah. I mean, when I have time.
Hmm.
Yes, I do like movies.
I kind of want to watch. I'm still determined to watch Streets of Fire and talk about it on the stream. Are you down?
I don't know what that movie is.
It's. Have you ever played Streets of Rage or Final Fight?
Played Final Fight. We played it together.
That's true.
Right?
You and
Another
me
way we
played it.
played?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the movie that in part very clearly inspired that.
Okay, so
It's a rock opera from the early 80s or maybe
I already
mid
love everything
80s.
about it.
Yes, it's got very elaborate costumes. It takes place. It looks like it takes place in a time of I don't know, like Prohibition era, maybe
Okay.
50s, 60s. I don't know. It's kind of all over the board as far as the style, as you
Yeah.
might remember from Final Fight. Um, it's the plot involves a biker gang kidnapping somebody's girlfriend, and then everybody gets beat up on the way to saving the girl. Um, but
Interesting.
but again, it's got a lot of like rock and roll from the 80s and um, I don't know, cool costumes, and it's a dark period. Well, not dark period, but it's got like a lot of I don't know, iconic stuff and very clearly inspired video games. So I kind of wanted to watch that and review it or talk about it for an hour with somebody. So
Yeah, that might be fun.
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
I pick you in particular because there's so many cool costumes that I think you would be inspired.
That sounds like a bad thing. I don't need to be inspired by more costumes. I already have too many that I want to make. So these another tip is these bracers are not, oh gosh, where's the part you can actually see? I instead of making them to where I had to lace them up every time because that seemed like a lot of work, I used elastic to lace them to where it's just flexible enough that I can pull it on over my arms even though it's like a struggle to get them off after a day of sweating. But, it still works.
How long
Now I've put on this belt. Gotta
how long
figure out
did
how to
it
put
take
it.
you to make this costume?
On and off, working on it, maybe a couple of months. I feel like it's a lot of layers, but each layer is like uh, fairly straightforward.
Hmm.
And I have a lot of vintage patterns, so I would just kind of like look at the piece of clothing, like okay, the undershirt. It's basically just like a button-up shirt. Let me go find a button-up shirt pattern, make it. Okay, the shirt that goes over the top of it is basically just a really long T-shirt split up the middle. I'll use a pattern for that. Okay, the vest is just a vest. I'll just use a vintage vest pattern, and you kind of just like take one piece at a time. Um, Kind of go about it that way. It's a sewing outfit. There's not a lot of other like foam armor or anything crazy in it. It's just fabric, and that's the thing that I'm best at doing. So it's not too terrible. I don't remember how this belt goes on, so I'm struggling. I think it's kind of like a this, and then it kind of, oh gosh, why is my phone going off? Something like a this. Okay, close enough. You can't even see it on stream, so you know what? It's fine. Cool. I also have my really terribly built dagger holster. It's made out of like craft foam from Michaels with some brads in it, so it looks fancy. And I just safety pin it to my pants and then put the little Velcro around it so it stays up, so I can hold all my daggers. Ow. Pin it to my pants without stabbing myself in the leg like I just did. And then daggers. So these I 3D printed. I designed them myself and printed them. So they have nice little pokey details. I have some leather wrapped around them. I have them painted in several different silvers and stuff.
Did you take a class on 3D modeling? Did you teach yourself?
I took a week-long class from the company that I bought the software from.
Mm-hmm.
They run like a here's everything you need to know about SolidWorks in a week, and I did that and was like, oh gosh, I feel like I learned so much information. I don't know if I am gonna be good enough at this. But then I just practiced every single day and that was like over a year ago, probably about a year and a half ago when I took the class. So then just practicing every day gets you to where you're good enough at it. Good enough. I'm still by no means an expert.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Well, that's something that people get like full college degrees in. So
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
we actually have quite a few 3D modelers or people with 3D modeling experience in the group. But again, that's a big college degree thing. So what you got there?
This is the cloak.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically like a blanket I have to wear, so it's very heavy. It's because I'm dumb and I lined it, so it would be like all shiny and pretty. So this is where the real heat comes in when I'm wearing this to a con because it's just so massive and it's like literally wearing like a quilt around you at all times.
You've inspired me. I'm gonna go get my panda cloak.
Okay, do it while I take 10 minutes to clip this to myself.
I can still talk. It's just behind the invisible screen here.
I usually have someone help me clip it to myself because it's kind of a struggle with all the weight by myself, but I don't have anybody here, so we're gonna do some shrugging and see if we can get it to clip together.
Where is everybody?
I mean, they're somewhere in the house. They're probably racing. Actually, my mom and dad left for our farm because we're going out to our farm this weekend to hang out since there's nothing to do anywhere. We might as well do nothing at the farm.
Yeah, true. If you can definitely keep socially distanced at a farm. Maybe not from
Yeah.
the animals, but
Well, there's no animals out there. We used to have cows, but we don't anymore. Okay, now I gotta put the wig on. So
all right.
much hair.
Just rub it in for everybody. Okay, here's my panda onesie or onesie cloak.
Let me see. Oh, cute.
Mm-hmm. And then I can do this thing where I'm all covered up and then I'm invisible and then I'm all covered up and then I'm invisible.
Usually I already have this wig on before I put on this cloak because I usually drive to the con in everything but the cloak and sometimes but the gloves and the brace, depending on how hot it is, because it's not like hard to drive in it, but it's just a lot of extra junk to be on. But I try to get as ready as possible before I drive because I don't like to get ready in the parking lot like some people. And I'm always the driver of everywhere we go, so I can't like get ready in the car because I'm driving. But
With your car, you're always the driver?
none of my
I've
friends.
owned Hot Wheels cars that are bigger than your car.
Well, I don't drive my car. I drive like my mom's car or something, so that there's extra seats. But I like driving, and I like being in charge of driving, so I know that we're like safely driving because it's me driving. So, okay, I gotta a 1, 2, 3. Shove my face into this. It's a struggle because you have to not hit the ears. But I found that putting on the ears before the wig is the easiest because if you put them on after, you end up like your ears to the wig.
Yeah, I can imagine.
That's a whole thing. But this wig has little clips on the inside that kind of hold onto your hair because it's got so much weight to it. It's hard not for it to not just like pull off of your head. But usually if I wear it to a con, I glue the hairline down to my forehead so it like stays put. Because when I'm, leaping off of tall buildings, I want my wig to get ripped off by the wind. You gotta kind of separate your hair over the ears so you can see them.
I guess you always build your cosplays functional to the point that you can jump off of staircases and stuff?
I try to because I know the kind of person I am and I know I'm gonna want to do that.
Because my Robin Hood costume basically crumbled in the rain.
Oh, yeah, I try to make them to where they're pretty survivable because you never know what's gonna happen. Oh, this is so heavy. Okay, I got my cloak in the right spot. I can put my hood on. This hood is like the most massive of all hoods I've ever made because I wanted it to be massive. And one of my ear is struggling to not fall off. But, it's good enough. This one that I like knocked off earlier, it needs extra glue. I think one of my ears is smaller than the other, so one of the ears fits on better. Like my own personal ears are different sizes, and these are the same size, so one of them always fits weirder than the other.
Gotcha.
So.
I have a notch in my ear. Maybe not as pronounced as Jess's nose notch, but
Were you mauled as a child by a bear?
No, it's genetic. I don't even know where it is. Somewhere.
So, bam. Pull out my daggers. Wachow! Wachow! Wachow!
Nice. I'm scared. I'm
Yes,
scared,
like
but you'll never see me because I'm invisible, so I'm safe. Maybe. Or I don't know. What's that?
I do also have a real dagger though that I got at Ren Fair.
All right, now I'm actually scared.
Legitimately stab someone with this. So this is good for like photos and stuff if you want like real cool shininess. So this was given to me as a gift by a random stranger at the Renaissance Fair. So if people who like random men give me gifts all the time, it's not a joke. I don't ask for them. Men just like throw things at me. And a random guy at the Ren Fair bought this for me and gave it. So that's not proof that men are desperate. I don't know.
I don't know what to say.
And I was dressed like
Other
this.
than I believe you, I don't know what to say.
Guy. So it's not like I was cute or anything.
Oh yeah. Does General have it right? Did the guy say it's dangerous to go alone? Take this.
No, I wish he would have. It would have been clever. No, I'm pretty sure he just walked up to me and was like, he handed it to me. And I was like, oh, cool, what is this? Is this yours? And he, like, didn't say anything. I was like, do you want me to, like, take a picture or something? And he was like, no, it's for you. I was like, oh, why? And he was like, oh, well, I saw you earlier in the knife shop, and you were, like, really eyeing these daggers, but you didn't buy one, so I bought it for you. I was like, oh, that's really sweet, and also kind of creepy, and also, like, what? But it was at the Ren Fair that was, like, 3 hours from my house, so it wasn't too creepy, because I'll probably never see him again. So,
And if you do, you have a dagger.
It's true, and it's
maybe it was evidence for a crime.
Very possible. Maybe I'll get locked away for it someday, and I'll tell this story in the Netflix original series they tell about my case.
General's got a good use for it there. That's interesting. I never thought of it. I want to see that episode of Law and Order now where somebody just gives away a murder weapon to a random passerby. You look like you needed a handgun.
Oh, thanks. That's so great. So that's the weird part about Ren Fair is I feel like at con they like look at anything that's even vaguely weapon looking, like these plastic daggers. They like marked with red tape and everything to show that like they were safe enough for me to carry in. Ren Fair, they don't even check your pockets. Like I could bring in like a machine gun to a Ren Fair and no one would stop me. Like they very much don't care.
Yeah, but the machine gun would not be period appropriate. You need a broadsword, a giant axe.
They like don't frown upon you bringing like legitimate swords in there.
Well, yeah,
like,
they sell them there.
Yeah, but they could like sell it to you and you have to like have it wrapped up and you can't pull. But like no, there's just men with like legitimate swords on their belts and no one's concerned. I'm just like, oh, that seems strange.
It does.
for
It
how
does. It's like, but it is also like the only place you could possibly go with any of that.
yeah,
It's just literally the festival of show off my medieval weaponry.
yeah, pretty much.
Oh, is that it? Is that it? Is it all done?
Yeah, I think so. I was looking in my box again. I think that's everything. There's nothing else in the box, so I guess it's all on.
Sorry, you had me shocked and dismayed at somebody giving you a dagger that probably cost $150 just randomly. Here you go. Can we see
Yeah.
the whole thing?
This I will. It's literally just gonna be all cloak. There's so much cloak. So, but here's more. You can see all my multi layers and my daggers on my belt.
Wow.
So, but yeah, it's just a lot of cloak. In
You
most
are.
of the pictures in this costume, it's just like there's cloak everywhere. But I do have one of my favorite, I think possibly my favorite cosplay photo that's ever been taken of me in this costume, where my friend threw my cloak out to the side. So it's just like huge. You see like the full cloak up in the air. It's pretty cool. So I like cloaks. I will literally cosplay as anyone that allows me to wear a cloak.
I hate cloaks. That's why I'm just casually wearing a panda cloak right now.
Yeah, I think they're great. They're very dramatic. I think we should bring them back into style. That people should just wear cloaks everywhere.
I think guys look creepy with them, to be honest with you. Or and capes and cowls. There was a coach for the Dallas Cowboys who used to wear capes everywhere. Very weird.
Well, I'm not sure you should like wear it like this, where it's like covering up your whole body all the time. But like
Mm.
the ones that are like half, where it's like a belt around your shoulder, and then it's like a half cape. Those things are pretty dope. Or even just like a caplet. I really like caplets that go to like elbow length. I have a couple of those. I like drama. I like to be able to swoosh. It sounds like good swooshing. Hit people with the swooshing. It's great.
As long as you avoid them with the daggers and whatnot.
Sure.
Has Penelope asked you your favorite color yet?
Yeah, we talked about it last week. My favorite color is yellow.
There you go. She's still lurking, trying to fill out her entire document. I feel like
Yeah.
there's a school project happening in the background where
She's just like gathering all this information about random strangers to compile into data.
right, but all specifically their favorite color.
Hmm.
Like she's doing
The
some
most
sort of
important question.
in-depth statistical analysis on people's favorite color.
Yeah. Hey man, if my job could be just like interviewing people and asking them random questions and then formulating statistics based on that, I think that would be a really cool job. Because I'm very nosy. I like to know things about people. I'm very blunt and just asking people their deep dark secrets. So
I don't know if I'm blunt about their deep dark secrets, but I do like asking people questions. I like hearing people tell stories. That's what I like. I like stories.
I like to tell stories.
Hmm.
So,
Well, thank you for the cosplay. What was the name of your character one more time? Do you know?
his name is Vax. Actually, his real name is Vaxeldon, but he just goes by Vax. So, because
And
his twin name is Vex, so it's very confusing. They get mistaken for each other a lot.
and we are looking forward to your CosFreePlay post tomorrow,
Awesome.
actually, where you will be doing a cosplay related to the community group, but a cosplay challenge that you are issuing to the rest of the group. I'll
Yes.
try. I don't really have a lot to cosplay with, but I guess that's part of the fun,
Like
right?
literally a solid colored shirt and just like toss something on your head that's the same color as the picture.
I don't
Super.
know if you noticed, but
It's
all of my
literally all
shirts
I
have
did.
no color at all. They're literally
Well,
invisible.
we'll see. Maybe you can just be an invisible version of this character.
Yes, yes. Oh, I could do that. I could have the picture behind me and just do like this, and there I am. I'm perfect
Just like
cosplay.
your floating head in the place of his head.
That's actually Ian's specialty. He'll Photoshop it in.
Yeah, that's true.
hmm
It'll be good.
Well, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week with another cosplay.
Sure, I'll probably wear the one I was gonna wear this week. I'll probably wear Kyrie, the one that I wore when we hung out at QuakeCon. Is that what that
Mhm.
con's name is?
Ah,
Yeah.
yes. That one. That one. Did you get any gifts at QuakeCon? Because it looked like there were some people passing by that wanted to give you gifts.
I did not. I did spend like 4 hours talking to those couple of guys that had flown in from California, I think. They had like one free tickets to QuakeCon,
hmm
and we sat at the table while we were playing at 4 a.m. stinking Super Puzzle Fighter. And I talked to
Yeah.
them for like 4 hours. They were super nice guys. It wasn't like in a creepy way. They were actually like decent human beings, and it was enjoyable.
That was a great day. I definitely tried to do it the next year as well. It just we had issues with the QuakeCon change in management. So just randomly pulling a versus city out there and parking it overnight and playing overnight every day of the con was not something I could do the next year. And of course this year it's been canceled, so boo.
Yeah.
Not cool. Not cool. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And unless there's anything else, catch you at Kyrie Celeste on Instagram and
Yep.
catch that Cause Free Play post tomorrow.
Yep.
Thanks so
Sounds
much,
like a
Kamber.
plan. Bye.
Bye.